Left, ready on the right.
Ready on
All
the
right.
firing line.
Got the nice high chair tonight.
Good evening. I would like to call this Board of Selectmen's meeting to order at 6:05 PM on March 28th, 2019. The first order of business tonight is the final review of the fiscal year 2020 municipal budget requests. I am going to read each of the categories and the amount, and we'll vote on them, or if there's any discussion, we'll hold that at this time. All right, you ready, gang?
Go.
All right.
Ready when you are, boss.
Ready as we'll ever
All
be.
right, I hear you there. Okay, item number one, administration, $1,175,000. $1,001,175. Thank you. That's a good way to start. A whole lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Excuse me. Zoning Board of Appeals, $500.
So moved.
Second. We're gonna do that the other way around, remember? For Arlene's
For
purposes.
Arlene's purposes?
I moved, she seconded.
Yes, yeah. All in favor? Motion carries. Conservation Committee, $1,350.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Growth Planning Committee, $5,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Legal fees, $93,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? And again, if anybody has any questions on this board, feel free to speak up. Insurance, $268,142.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Community Development, $29,495.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Planning and Development, $447,171.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Police Department, $1,768,839.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Communications, $531,938.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Fire Department, $417,258.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Chems, $155,000 even.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Emergency Management, $1,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Animal Control, $15,376.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Harbor Master, $38,838.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, this one can take a second. Solid Waste, the budget amount right now is $498,220. But I think that we need to discuss
Right, the
recycling
changes.
again,
Yeah.
yes. Lori, would you like to speak to this?
Yep, I passed out a sheet to you that has 3 columns on it. It includes the entire solid waste and recycling budget. The first column is the current fiscal year 19 budget. The second column is the proposed budget that was in your budget packet. The third column is based on what we discussed at the last joint budget and selectmen meeting. This removes, you can see, the recycling processing fee and recycling curbside pickup. It also increases tipping fees to account for additional tonnage going into the tipping. And then we have placed a new line item called recycle contingency, which is $40,000. The $40,000 does not have a plan for it at this point. We would need to develop a plan, whether we're working with an abutting town to, take care of recycling, or whether we might want to approach recycling in a very different manner. The intent would be not for curbside. This doesn't this isn't enough money to do curbside. So we could certainly have a smaller amount in there if you would like to reduce it further. I kept it at 40 to try and mimic what the original proposal was, but there's no magic behind that number.
Thoughts, guys?
I like the approach. I think it's a safe approach, and it's very much in line with what I suggested last week at the meeting, whereby we include a reserve to be able to accommodate for the unknown moving forward. I think it's a safe number. I think it's a number that we probably won't hit. However, it'll just roll back into the general fund if we don't need it. But it's there if we do.
I like it.
And I think it's responsible to continue to look for ways to continue some form of recycling.
I'm in favor of that. Right.
Yeah.
All right, so the dollar amount would be $488,242, according to Stuart's suggestion. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, moving on. Health, $187,811.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Welfare, $3,335.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Social services, $22,400.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Shellfish, $3,671.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Public restrooms, $32,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Highway Department, $976,267.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, mechanic is 0, but I believe that's because we moved that to another location. So
Correct.
I don't think we need to vote on that. Do we need a vote?
No.
Okay. Utilities, $192,790.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Shade Tree, $42,123.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Cemetery, $14,513.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Recreation, $283,002.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I wonder where Carol came up with $2.
I don't know.
I'm sure it was very well spent money.
Yes.
Sure.
Graves Library, $155,000 even.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Cape Porpoise Library, $13,950.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Parsons Way, $4,000 even.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Goose Rocks Beach Advisory, $44,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Contingency, $65,000 even.
So moved.
65, excuse me.
65,000,
Yeah, okay, I thought you said 55.
nope, 65.
Okay.
I may have, but I thought I said
I
65.
moved 65.
Okay, perfect.
Second.
All in favor? Miscellaneous, $10,668.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Debt service, $627,662.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, capital outlay. Administration, $130,000 even.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Police, $30,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Fire reserve, $188,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Highway, $6,000.
So moved.
Second.
Favor? Road improvements, $587,600.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Sidewalk construction, $90,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Recreation, $2,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Reevaluation, $67,000 even.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Special projects are 0. Piers, $200,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, we need a adjustment on the total expenses because we changed.
Yeah.
You have the new total, Jen?
I do, on the computer.
Yeah, you wanna just read it up? I'll just
Sure.
say, total expenses.
9,243,166.
Thank you, Jen. I have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, that takes care of the final review of the municipal budget request. Excuse me, I'm gonna drink after
How to
that.
spend almost $10 million in 5 minutes.
We did it efficiently.
We did.
Yes, we did. Okay, this is our public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone who wants to address the Board of Selectmen with any issue that is not on the agenda.
I think you want to approve the minutes first.
Did I skip
Oh,
that?
did we?
Oh, sorry. Okay, back it
Author
up.
Must.
Approve the March 14th, 2019 Selectmen meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay,
I'm getting
now
used
it's
to
the
saying
public
this.
forum. Anybody like to address this meeting this evening? Okay, seeing none. We're gonna do a few liquor license or renewal applications, and again, these have all been approved by the town and the fire and the police department. The first one is for renewal liquor license submitted by Noonan's Lobster Hut, 9 Mills Road.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Consider a renewal liquor license application submitted by the Seaside Hotel Association, Seaside Hotel Association LTD, DBA Nonantum Resort 95.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Consider a renewal amusement permit application submitted by Tina Hewitt Gordon,
So moved.
Seaside Hotel,
Second.
Nonantum. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, consider a renewal liquor license application submitted by SBJC LLC, DBA Bandaloop, 2 Ocean Ave.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, we've approved it, but I just was wondering, they're
moving.
planning to move.
They are moving. I was told that they just want to keep their liquor license here because it's, part of it's with the state. That way they
Oh,
can
okay.
transfer. They can't transfer our
Right,
section of it
right,
because it's
okay.
only good for our municipality, but
Okay.
That was the explanation that I was given.
Sounds good.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, number 9, consider appointment to Village Parcel Master Plan Steering Committee. Stu, you'd like to say something?
Yeah, I
wouldn't you?
would. You know, it's, towns in general are pretty greedy and voracious consumers of volunteer time. And to put out a call for help to impanel a committee and have 28 people express interest and come in and talk to us and interview through the process is pretty remarkable. So one, thank you for the level of commitment and dedication from the townspeople to the various committees and undertakings that we do. It's truly remarkable, the amount of willingness to help. Secondly, Ed, I think you ran an amazing interview process, and I
Thank you.
appreciate that very much, because it was a lot of work. Imagine, getting 28 or so interviews under our belt in the course of 2 nights of work. It's quite a lot, and it was done brilliantly, efficiently, and it's sincerely appreciated.
Great, I appreciate it, and you guys did
Can I
well.
just interject something?
Absolutely.
We want to thank Patrick for giving us sustenance
Yes.
through the whole
Absolutely.
2 evenings of being there.
Good point.
Yes,
I
huzzah.
eat 3 meals a day, in case somebody's wondering. And this went from 5 to 7, which was one of my meal times. And the result was very rewarding, because everybody stayed alert and right on it.
Right.
And we
And
were
we
able
didn't
to
have
get
listen-
through it.
We didn't have to listen to people's stomach rolling.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, the cookies were good, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to state as well, this was a very, very difficult process. It just amazes me how many talented people we have in our
Wow,
community of all levels. I mean, some with advanced degrees and years of training, but others who may not have all of that, but just were so insightful, and it made the decision.
That much harder.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
I
glad
was-
that there were 4 other of us,
Yeah.
to do this, because I would not want to have picked these people out all by myself. But without any further ado, the 7 people from the community are Connie Dykstra, Rebecca Young, John.
Go slower.
I can give you a copy afterwards, but yes, Connie Dykstra,
Yeah.
Rebecca Young, John Harcourt, Jamie Houts, Mike Weston, Tim, was that Pattison? And Russ Grady.
And I would move that panel.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much to those individuals and to all of you who applied. Truly amazing turnout.
Do I also get to throw two members of this board under the bus?
You
as
sure can.
nominees?
Please do throw two members of this board under
I
the
would
bus.
nominate for my peers, Alan and Sheila, to also serve on that committee as the board's representatives.
I second that.
All in favor? There you go.
I always love volunteering other people for work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We did
But
meet
you
an
know,
awful
Stu,
lot.
that does not absolve
Oh, I
you
know.
and I and Pat from going to some of these meetings ourselves.
Believe me,
I
I'm
know.
well aware.
All right.
You know, we did meet an awful lot of nice people.
We did.
People that we've never met before.
Right.
And that was really.
I think it was the best
pretty
part of
good.
the experience,
Yeah,
you
it was
know?
great,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, number 10, consider renewing contract with Sunrise Credit Services Incorporated to assist in bill collection. Lori, would you? I think we have
We
that.
had contracted with Sunrise Collections a couple of years ago to assist us with some parking violation fees after we had sent out numerous bills. In the past few months, we have worked diligently on our outstanding accounts receivable, and there's a memo in your packet that have the totals in those amounts. Jen Lord, our treasurer, did an updated list today, and you have a couple of spreadsheets. I'm gonna let her lead you through that.
Sure, thanks. If you turn to the second page of the spreadsheet, you'll see our outstanding list as of today and where we stand. At the start of year, that's the SOY, 7/118, those were our balances. I have a column for collected, and there's also a column that I'd like to come back to you like April 25th to talk about writing off some people who have either have passed away or didn't really want a mooring or dues or things like that. But for now, I'm just looking for permission and your blessing to take this list to Sunrise and have them start working on it. I would not do it tomorrow because we have been talking with people and we have promises of money coming. So it'll probably be a few weeks out while we're still waiting for those other people to catch up before we do that.
I just have one question for you, Jen. It's fine with me, but there's some people on this list that I had spoken to, and I think they were billed an error, and we can absolve them later on, but is it gonna be a problem for the credit, I don't want them necessarily going, using up our dime to go after people that we know,
If the people have a note next to them,
then we don't have to worry.
we're not sending them to credit
Okay,
collections.
fine, yep,
Right.
all right, thank you.
And people are still calling and discussing it with us, letting us know if it was an error, I really didn't want that, so we are working with people and we encourage people to call us.
Sounds good to me. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you,
Thank
Jen.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Review proposed ordinance revisions and vote to place on town meeting warrant. We have street numbering. Did you need to speak to that at all, Lori?
These are the two ordinances we've been discussing over the past few weeks since Amy had made her additions to them. We have not changed them, and I don't believe, have received any more feedback from the public on them. The town clerk is agreeing with my statement,
So
so,
they're in the position that we last saw.
yep.
So I would move that we place them on the warrant.
I'll second that.
All in favor? All right, so moved. Okay,
I assume there'll be a public hearing on these before town meeting?
Yes.
yep. All right, moving right along. Number 12, donation of tax acquired parcel ice skating rink to the Kennebunkport Heritage Trust. Lori, would you?
Yes, so the Heritage, Kennebunkport Heritage Housing Trust has been working diligently on trying to address the issues of year-round community and housing. And the Board of the Housing Trust did vote to request from the Board of Selectmen a donation of the tax-acquired property known as the ice skating rink to the Heritage Housing Trust. As we discussed in the budget process, our plans are to move the ice skating rink to Parsons Field. That has not occurred yet, of course, but that is their request. And Pat, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Well, I would like to add that we've taken the guidance that the Board of Selectmen have given to us to set up a 501c3, and we've applied to the federal government, and they, at long last, have recognized our application and told us that we're in the queue. And we don't know exactly what that means, but it will be revealed in due time.
It's better than not being in the queue, I suppose.
Well, it's better, we applied in December, so all
Oh,
this
just before the
time.
shutdown,
Well, yes, we
just in
wanna-
time for the shutdown.
We thank them for that holiday, but the way it ended up, we just weren't sure where the paperwork was. And we now know that they did get it, and they're going to review it. There's two options, basically. If everything looks good, why, then you're looking at 60 days. If it's not, you've got 180 days. We don't think we've raised any red flags because we've been very diligent, we've got legal advice, and we've done what we think is the right thing. So we're at the point now where we've got a flyer that everybody, I hope, has got here in the audience that explains in a very quick way what we're trying to do. We're at the point where we have worked with the banks, we've got them to agree to work with our applicants to finance their mortgages for these houses. We didn't have land. I mean, you can say, well, you know, what are we going to do next? This trust asks for the ice skating rink because it is a town-acquired tax property that we, the town, own free and clear, own or control. So having this turned over to us would give us the opportunity to proceed with the building of probably 3 housing lots on this property. We've had it surveyed by Sebago Technics. They've agreed that this is a feasible project. So going forward, having the land is where we can now go to the banks and say, okay, we've got the land, this is what it looks like, we've got designs for houses, this is what they look like, and this is what we expect them to cost. So it's all coming together, and we're ready to proceed. So at this point, you know, the trust would like approval for the town to transfer it.
Pat, do you have a plan like Habitat does to make sure that people hold on to these properties? Are you gonna lease them or the land or?
Yes, that, you know, we certainly do. I mean, the whole premise is to maintain an affordable housing base.
Correct.
And so the land lease is our link to them. It will have covenants. They will have to maintain the property. They will have to give us the right of first refusal to purchase the property. And going forward, there's limits to what they could charge for it. So, for example, they could not turn it around in a short period of time and sell it to somebody for a lot more money because it isn't allowed. The covenants control that. So we've looked at everything. We've modeled it after the Island Housing Trust up in Mount Desert Island, and they've been operating successfully this way for 18 years. So we've got a high degree of comfort in the fact that we're doing the right thing. It's been accepted in the state of Maine. We've got everything that we can do lined up at this point.
I have just one concern about this, and I'm not opposed to the housing trust at all. I think it's beyond needed. It's been needed for years. And I'm not opposed to giving this parcel away. But something was brought to all of us, and the public may not know this. I don't even know how long ago it was. Within the last year, there's a larger parcel behind the property. And we were approached, all of us sent letters from the owner's real estate agent trying to buy that parcel because they wanted to be able to put a right-of-way in. Because it's about 18 acres, and their right-of-way is not big enough to utilize the property for maximum housing. I won't use the word subdivision, but As it stands now, they can only divide that property and put 2 houses on it. And my concern is that this property could be used to access that, and I don't think that's anything we want to see happen. And if you're willing to put a covenant into this agreement that says that there will be no easements, no right-of-ways, no fee interest to any adjacent properties, I'll make the motion right now to give it away.
I got a big, I don't, Ed,
I have a
with all
problem with
respect,
that, yeah.
I think that ties their hands too much.
I
And
don't see that. They
I
want
don't,
this
uh,
piece of property.
Well, but what
and-
if the trust winds up acquiring that land and they have the opportunity to do more homes
So,
themselves?
the
down
problem I
road?
have with that, Stu, is that, you know, this is taxpayer property, and the 5 of us are making this decision, and I think that a decision of that magnitude to allow more development, that would otherwise not be permitted is a question that I don't feel comfortable.
But
the
we're not
5
being
of us
asked to do that, though.
I would like,
But I see things happen in this town, I've seen things happen that I never would have thought happened, so I like to plan for contingencies.
yeah, but I don't like having our hands tied.
I don't
I don't
know.
like
I-
having.
It's not ours, once we let it go, it's no longer ours, we aren't.
Well, but now it becomes the property
Probably the trust.
of the trust,
That's right.
and I think it's up to them.
And I don't,
Whether-
I don't think it's
whether-
necessarily in their interest to be granting easements. I mean, I'm not speaking for them, of course, but I have a problem doing something like this and then, you know, tying a lot of anchors to it to keep it from rising to its best possible outcome. And I think that if we tie the trust's hands, we're limiting the potential good that they can do with this initial foray into their undertaking. So I would make a motion right now that we would grant this property, or we would that we would grant Lori the authority to pass this property on to the Kennebunkport Heritage Housing Trust with no encumbrances to its deed beyond what exists currently on whatever record is there now. And I think, Ed, I'm very respectful of what you're getting at, and I think that there are a number of ways that the town has to manage either irresponsible growth or development unchecked. I think that there's lots of opportunities for us, for the planning board, for for the town itself, for the code office, to make sure that nothing that shouldn't happen with that parcel out back happens.
Well, the parcel out back is limited right now, and this is my point, by the narrow right-of-way that accesses it through Westvale Road. In my discussions with Warner, right now, the property can only have 2 houses on it as it is because the road isn't wide enough to meet. It has to
But
be
that's not
50
gonna
to-
change by this, right?
No, it won't, it would only change, and I never would have thought of this if, you know, we hadn't received that letter asking to purchase the property, so they could put a right-of-way in to maximize the yield for the back lot. And that's my point here is, you know, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. You know, I hear about this every day from people. I also hear about, why can't my kids live in town? But I also hear, why do we have this growth? You know, you selectmen need to stop the subdivisions and et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, it's a lot more complicated, as you know, than that. You know, we don't have that power. And but I worry that if we give this land doesn't belong to us, it belongs to the taxpayers. It's been improved. It's not like the piece of land that we gave to Habitat up on the dump road, where it was just an abandoned piece of property nobody had ever done anything with. And in that instance, it made sense. And, you know, I'm not opposed to giving this away, but I want to make sure when we give it away, this is what we're doing here. Because I don't want to hear later on down the road that somehow an easement went through it and then that back parcel got developed further because it couldn't be developed, it can't be developed more now because it doesn't meet the current standards. It doesn't have a 50-foot right-of-way. And there is room to put a 50-foot right-of-way through this piece of property. I've walked it, I grew up playing there.
Is there a motion?
There is a motion.
I second the motion, so we can move it.
And before you call a vote, Ed, I hear what you're saying, but I have a fundamental problem with the town because of whatever interests that have, I don't think it's necessarily in the best interest of the town or the taxpayers to place an unfair burden on this parcel simply to stop something that is legally permitted to happen.
It
You know
is,
what I'm
see, so
saying?
it's not legally permitted to happen.
Then it won't
Today,
happen.
so it won't happen.
Correct, on the back, but what I'm concerned about is that a right-of-way could be granted if we
But
don't.
that would be legally permitted then.
But remember, this is more of a moral thing, I think, on my part. It's, I hear this day in and day out about, the more and more development of the town and less, especially in the village area, where you go out and it's just woods. And,
You know, a while
You know,
ago, we had a vote on contract zoning, as we all remember. And there were a lot of people that were against that for that same reason. We don't want change, we don't want change. But it happened that, in fact, we needed contract zoning for various
Right,
situations.
absolutely.
And so it's hard for us at this point to say, no, no, no. We don't know what's gonna be going on 10 years from now. We don't know what the needs are gonna be 10 years from now.
It's-
We don't know, it may be the same 10 years from now. But to tie their hands and restrict,
Yeah, I don't like tying hands.
I don't agree with it.
So we have a motion
so-
and a second.
all right, well, Pat, you've got to recuse yourself because you're on the board.
Okay.
So I call the vote.
All right? In favor, right?
Opposed?
Okay.
Thank you for your input. And I do mean good luck with the property. I do believe in your mission. And, I have some issues and I've expressed them, but I do support what you're doing. Yes, David?
I've been good tonight, haven't had anything to say, but I just wanted to say that in addition to being a Kennebunkport resident, I'm a executive director of the Kennebunkport Residents Association, and we are very excited about having the Heritage Housing Trust come to our spring annual meeting and potluck supper that's held at the Conservation Trust every May. It'll be on May 5th this year. And Pat and his folks have agreed to come and explain to us all about what's going on. The membership of the KRA is excited. They have lots of questions. Some of them think it's a great idea. Some of them say, well, I don't know. We're going to learn a little bit more about it. But I just want to say that we're very happy to have Pat and his folks come and speak to us. And I think it'll be a good turnout for the meeting.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thank you, David.
Dave.
Okay, anybody, I don't see anybody else, I'm not.
Yeah, we're good.
We're almost done with this meeting. Item number 14, now we're getting to, 13, sorry, I already crossed 13 off.
I used to do that all the
Accept
time.
donations, a donation of $50 to the nurses' fee account from Donald and Lucille
God, Dad.
Gaudet in memory of Ellen Doobie.
So moved with appreciation.
Second.
All in favor? Yes, thank you. Accept a donation of $100 from Ed McLeod to the nurses' general account.
So moved, again with
Second.
appreciation.
All in favor? Other business? Alan?
No, thanks.
Pat?
I want to thank the other members of the board and our townspeople, because this is one of those situations where, we're faced with a challenge, and we have basically chosen to light a candle instead of cursing the darkness. We're going to do something with this property.
Great.
Okay.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank
I still hope you'll invite me to the ribbon cutting.
For sure.
I can walk there.
There you go.
Stu, do you have anything?
No, Ed, nothing for me, thanks.
Okay.
And I would just like to say that this Heritage Housing Trust Committee has done an incredible job in a short amount of
Oh,
time.
absolutely sure.
I'm just amazed, so thank you.
Yeah, we're
Town can be
very,
really
very,
proud.
very happy.
Yeah.
And really
making
proud.
us-
Absolutely.
For sure.
Lori, do you have anything?
I do. I have
Of
some.
course, there's always one.
Yeah.
I am the shortest speaking town manager you're gonna find in the state of Maine, my friends.
Absolutely right. You are absolutely
So,
right.
my question is, you adopted the expense side of the budget tonight. However, there were some revenue changes as well. Those were about the fees for vittlers licenses, liquor licenses, and also for building permit fees. And we're about to go into that season where we're collecting a lot of those. And so I wanted to confirm before we put the warrant together that you are in favor of those revenue changes. And we would need to bring them before you in the near future to get you to adopt them.
Do you need a vote or a nod?
I want to make sure that we're on the same page. I put it on an agenda for April 11th.
Okay.
And I talked to Werner about timing for the building permit fees. So we'd want to give people, a time period and warning. So even though we might adopt them in April, they probably wouldn't go into effect till May sometime. But
Well, I'm
you're
good.
in agreement?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
sure.
Great. And I just want to, again, thank everybody who came out to apply for the Village Parcel Master Plan Committee. I'm, again, just overwhelmed by the amount of talent out there and the amount of people who were willing to put forth, because this is going to be a pretty heavy lift in a short period of time. But, congratulations to those who were appointed, and as I said in the interviews, to those who were not appointed, there will be absolutely
We
be.
still have a job for them.
Oh, lots of jobs and lots of, everybody from the public, that's what this committee is about, is tasked with, is being a conduit between the community members and the Board of Selectmen, and bringing information back to us, and coming up with a big plan, and helping us sell the plan to the members of the community.
I've never seen so many applicants for one thing. Have you, Stuart?
Never, not once.
No.
Nope.
Very
And we,
exciting.
Yep.
we went into
Town
this with
manager, there were
Oh,
more applicants.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
We sifted through hundreds.
Yeah, but we weren't paying these people. Yes.
true.
Yeah, we paid somebody to sift through those, so we
right.
could,
Right.
but anyways.
Move the warrant.
warrants.
Second,
All in favor?
Move to adjourn?
second.
Closed. Thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you,
out.
everyone.
Did you? Oh, sure. Somewhere in there.
I took it back.
Oh, Lori has it. All right. No, it's.